Welcome to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. I'm your host, Todd Perlmutter. Our world is a projection of our collective consciousness. The more peace we bring into our lives, the more peace we bring into this world. So let the transformation begin. One comment I get a lot is, easy for you to be happy. You don't have a care in the world. Well, they are right that I don't have a care in the world, but it was not easy. It took years of practice. People work very hard all their life and they think misery and stress are inevitable. But you don't have to work hard and be miserable. You also won't have an easy life and necessarily be happy. You have to work hard at happiness. A guru once told me, if it was easy, we'd all be enlightened. We tend to think that because I have this situation, I have this job, or this amount of money, or this relationship or lack of relationship, that is why I'm unhappy. Or because I'm extra sensitive to the suffering of the world and awake to the injustices, that I am destined to be unhappy. But unhappiness only exists in the mind. The mind either creates happiness or it creates unhappiness. And it has nothing to do with what is going on around us and what responsibilities we may have. Someone recently reached out to me on YouTube and asked me this question. I just feel like, what is the point of life? We have to die anyways. So what is the point of growing old, watching our bodies crap out on us, only just to die? People treat each other like garbage. I know there are good people out there, but I don't get out much, and when I do, I just see garbage. I feel like I am too sensitive for this world and cannot stand injustice and cruelty, which is all I seem to run across, whether it's my own life or people I hear about. This is not a problem of the world, of society, or of one person's neighborhood. This is a problem of one person's mind. Obviously, there is not only people treating like garbage. Society would have collapsed long ago. We'd be living in Mad Max dystopia if that was the case. This is a person who is in a dark state, in a dark mental place, and can only see darkness. The light is not shining through. It is obscured by these negative thoughts. Obviously, everyone is not just in a fist fight everywhere this person goes. We can see a rude cashier or a parent not parenting the way we think they should. And we can say to ourselves any number of responses. We could say, man, they're really having a bad day. We could say, the whole world's lost its mind. We could say, oh my, and not lose any stress. And we have the ability to reach a place where we don't respond at all. We lose no mental energy. We maintain our total peacefulness. And we recognize the truth that it is 0.0000001% of our conscious experience. We do not have to focus on a negative action. We do not have to live in that moment for seconds, minutes, hours, and days after it's over. We can be aware of it. We can notice it happened. We can avoid that person in the future. But there is no reason in pure awareness that we need to suffer it. The beauty of this world is that we are all born in the mud, and we get to choose if we want to rise above it and blossom like a lotus flower. We can wrestle in the muck. We can fight with everyone else that's down where we are. But we have that beautiful opportunity to reflect, turn inward, stop blaming others, stop blaming situations and circumstances. And we have that ability to discover through the wonderful practice of meditation that simply closing our eyes can be the deepest peace and joy we've ever known. That it's always available to us. And when we understand that life is wonderful, that we can reach a deep level of peace and joy through just being, then we no longer wonder, what's the point? Why are we here? Why is there suffering? We are grateful for every second we have to be on this earth and to reach that place of peace and bliss. And we don't just have to do it with our eyes closed. We can do it as we go about our day. We can use everything in our experience as a stepping stone for growth to reach those greater heights. And if we are complaining and in anger at others, we are not as evolved as we think we are. There is no them versus me, us versus them, good versus bad, right versus wrong. That is all ego games. The ego divides itself from oneness. The ego believes in its righteousness. And the ego is what is so certain that everything else must be wrong with the world because it is perfect. And so learning to be content with nothing, to be happy with nothing, is essential to disidentifying with the ego, to stop falling for its games of accumulation and acquisition and conquering others. The dear person who asked this question, who I know is suffering greatly, believes that only if the world can change, if only people will change, then I can be happy. And that is just not the way the equation works. The equation is this: when I am happy, I notice the goodness in others, and I notice what is good and right in the world. As much as we fall for the illusion that our brains observe reality, this is not the case. Our brains create reality. This is even proven quantum science. Our awareness creates the physical universe around us. When we are happy and joyful, we only notice the goodness, the kindness, the love, the generosity, which is all equally there, if not more so. We just can't see it because we are in a hyper-stressed, hyper-fearful state. And so maybe we gravitate to the news, which is going to always tell us what we should worry about. Maybe we like horror movies because they resonate with that anger we have inside. And one thing we can do, instead of doom scrolling on our phones, is put in a comedy. Check out my audiobook, Aloneness to Oneness, which just went out on Amazon and Audible. Shameless plug. But it's relevant nonetheless. But you could just equally read the Tao Te Ching or watch a Disney movie or do anything that uplifts you. Meditation, being physically active, doing yoga. And we can pull our mind along the way to a better state instead of feeding its current state. Yes, we all get old. Yes, there is injustice. Yes, there is pain and illness. And none of that is unbearable. And it is all part of this fascinating adventure that we came here to experience. And when we are truly happy, when we have that inner peace, and we are free from the mental chatter, and we can reach that state of pure awareness, which is incredibly blissful. We no longer respond to suffering with needless worry and suffering of our own that diminishes our ability to alleviate suffering. We don't ask questions like, what is the point of living? We respond with compassion, not commiserating and draining ourselves, so that we actually can change the world. But we don't change it first. First, we change our minds, our mindset. This is the only way it happens. When we see someone being cruel, and we internally in our mind say, F that person, we are being cruel. Even if we don't act on that, we don't say it out loud, we don't throw coffee in their face. Thoughts lead to words, and words lead to action, and action leads to behavior and habits. So we are not the good side when we are complaining about others. That may make our ego feel self-righteous and important and good, but that does not mean we are good. That is the creation of conflict, where conflict did not exist before. Conflict can only happen when you resist reality, when you make the choice to engage and be that opposite side of a battle. Conflict cannot exist within you without your ego getting involved. The wise person knows that conflict never leads to a positive outcome in the long run. It just deepens conflict, sides, separation, division, and leads to all the violence that we find so hard to see in the world. But we are the cause. We are that ego. And that doesn't mean compromising our values. It means with love, teaching, showing, like that patient kindergarten teacher who never gets frustrated with the students for not getting something. And that is what is going on when we see cruelty in others. They are hurt people, and they're not getting it. They're not getting the damage they're causing. And we can try to force them and coerce them, but we teach by example. We teach through love and patience. That is how we heal, and that is how we heal others. When we are struggling, we can even see a happy person and get angry at them and say to ourselves, who don't they know what's wrong with the world? Who do they think they are? God, I'd love to smack that smile right off their face. It's not the good people and bad people in the world. It's our mind creating a reality. It's an ego that is suffering and lashing out. But that is not who we truly are. We are the pure light of consciousness, untainted, unconditioned by this physical world. And we do get to choose where we put our focus. And that is how we get to direct our lives. We get to choose if we focus on the beauty of a plant in our room or the rude driver that cut us off earlier in the day. Even what we choose to remember, what we misremember, or what we think we remember that just never even happened, all have to do with what we focus on, with what we are resonating with. We can remember other people's flaws, their mistakes, their worst moments, and those stories of unimaginable suffering in this world. Or we can remember all of the beauty and good stuff. And I am telling you, in this infinite universe, the good stuff and the beauty and the peacefulness is 99.9999999% of it. Most of this planet is beautiful, untouched nature. Everywhere you look in the sky is beautiful. Patterns of clouds, sunsets and sunrises every single day, and that beautiful starry night. Everyone can have plants and leaves in their home that are just stunning. Flowers are beautiful and offer us their fragrance. Every child is pure awareness looking at us. Every animal the same. Free from self-consciousness. Free from the troubles of the world. And we don't have to go back to that age of ignorance. We can go through to the other side of our suffering and see that it is all one, that there can be love coexisting with it. that when we turn hateful, we are no better than people doing the hating. And we can turn every darkness, every stress, every worry into our pathway to liberation by shining our conscious light of awareness on those darkest areas. To look closely at our ego so that we understand it, so that we understand its illusion, and so that we can understand the oneness that lies just beneath it. Yes, this world is chaotic and messy, but it's also changing more rapidly than ever, and we don't know what it's changing into, but we don't have to fear it, and we don't have to resist it. Instead, we can flow with it, embrace it. These are exciting times, times of infinite potential, and we must each be that love and egolessness in order to create a future that doesn't look like the past. Some change will be good, some change will be bad and temporary, but those forces of change are bigger than any one of us. They are the universe conspiring through us. So let go of that ego. Let go of your preconceived notions, your expectations, your worldly desires, and say yes to life. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support at eastwesticism.org, YouTube, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee. Your support keeps these podcasts coming out. You make it possible. You are helping this message reach people who really need it. And I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to everyone who's shared, left a review, gave it 5 stars. Your support means the world. Thank you again. Much love. You have been listening to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. Being here and putting in this important and noble work is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and others. If you found this podcast even a little helpful, please make sure to leave a review so it can reach others who may be in need. And remember, the path to peace starts with a single step.